So the next one I want to recite for you is actually a pretty dark and twisted parable. I've loved pretty graphic horror my whole life. Starting from when I was a kid with being introduced to the Goosebumps books by R.L. Stein. And Linda, my wife, she also really loves horror. So I like to write real twisted, dark horror stories too, but um, they always have a purpose. This is a pretty sick story. It's called Timmy. I hope you enjoy it. When Timmy was a little boy, his parents told him lies. How the world was bad and sick and sad, and they all deserved to die. So many lies, a sickness began to thrive inside his mind. Once he had an older brother, but now his brother's dead. His brother was playing in the street, the car that killed him fled. 'Cause Mr. Monopoly Moneybags was talking to his friend. He was too rich to watch the road, he didn't give a shit. And of his brains what remains is stains, it crushed his brother's head. The driver didn't even stop when he saw what he did, just slowed his car to see the corpse like he was innocent. But Timmy saw the driver's face with its golden glasses lens. The law may never find him, but Timmy won't forget. The car, the scene, the driver a scream, and older brother dead. They couldn't afford a funeral, they didn't know what to do. Their son would begin to rot as well, they were running out of food. The corpse was in the basement now, their son they would consume. As long as Timmy never knew the truth. When Timmy was an older boy, a man came to his door. He claimed he came to save them in the name of the Lord. But Timmy's dad was mad that someone would interrupt his chores. To get even, Dad invited him in. He wanted to hear more. If only the man had known what was in store. And Daddy thought he was alone, that Timmy was in school. But Timmy never left the house, he was hidden in his room. A horrible, blood-curdling scream, the man had met his doom. His mother made it for dinner. They told him they bought fresh food. They called it beef, but Timmy knew the truth. A teenager now, and Timmy felt that something inside him changed. Whenever he thought of the girls at school, it was in a different way. He tried to ask his father, but a beating was all Dad gave. There is no love, his father screamed as he beat Timmy with a cane. And as the blows fell upon Timmy's sad and tortured frame, his father said over and over again, there's only hate and pain. Now Timmy is sure his parents are to blame and can't be saved, and that it is his duty to put them in their rightful place. To torture them as they did him, he'd put them in their graves. When Mom and Dad were sleeping, Timmy crept up beside their bed, and with a broken bottle he impaled his father's head. From the wound the blood had spewed, his father was now dead. Dad's blood had covered Mother's gown, but somehow she didn't wake. So Tim, he screamed into her face, just look at what you've made. He tied her to her husband's corpse so she could see his face. He had to cut her eyelids off so she wouldn't look away. A gaping black and blood-soaked hole, and falling out were brains. They lived in the country so no one could hear her screams. Tim was getting hungry, but he had nothing to eat. He grabbed the kitchen knife. Mom and Dad would be his meat. Remembering what he was taught, Timmy began to feast. They caught him 2 weeks later, when Timmy went into town, but not before he caught the man that struck his brother down. With the license plate number Timmy had finally found, the man that killed his brother was renowned and upper bound. The ending of this twisted tale is too sick to be said, 'cause Timmy snuck into his house and killed the rich man's kid. After tying him to a chair to watch what Timmy did, the man's jaw was shattered, and his own son he was fed. The police arrived at the scene a little bit too late. The man was choking to death on what it was he ate. With a madness in his eyes they couldn't contemplate, 'cause pieces of his own son's leg were on a silver plate. They found him in the hall and Timmy was screaming for his life. Cursing his mother and father's names, he wouldn't drop the knife. Why did they have to torture him and fill his life with strife? Poor Timmy's life was ended as the bullet stopped his screams, and the last thing he saw was the life that could have been. A happy childhood with his brother seemed a dream. It was destroyed by his parents who were sick and twisted fiends. There may be a meaning hidden here within these words. After our birth we could be cursed to live in the adverse, to traverse the inverse belief that our parents nursed, and stuck forever looking out the window of the hearse. So remember to be careful with the things we tell our youth. They will believe whatever we say, a lie can be the truth. And people will feel no ruth when the sooth becomes corrupt, 'cause we are the only ones who reconstruct or deconstruct. I know it was a little dark, but thank you for listening. That one was called Timmy.